What are you saying? Welcome back to ISOJ. Lovely to have you back. We got a whole slate of games ahead of us tonight, but let's go into last night's recap. And let's start off easy. The Memphis Grizzlies have officially been eliminated from playoff competition. It is done. There is no more hope. They were swept 4-0 in kind of a close game. 117-115, no jar. I mean, to be honest, I didn't watch this game. I'm going to keep it a buck. I watched 2 games. I don't really care about these 1-8 matchups, to be completely honest. The Cavs beat the Heat 124-87. So, I mean, after some point, you're just going to say, I don't need to watch this. We'll skip over those two games. But the Heat are on elimination point now. And the Grizzlies are now officially out. Let's go on to the more important and exciting games. The Nuggets versus the Clippers. This one was a little bit chippy down the line. You had that moment with Aaron Gordon and James Harden. Funnily enough, Ivica Zubac pulled Aaron Gordon away, stopped him from getting ejected from the game because it looked like James Harden swung a bit. And Aaron Gordon wasn't having that. So, I'm just saying, if you didn't pull him away, you definitely would have won this game. They win off of a Nikola Jokic tip-in. I mean, Nikola Jokic took the shot, Aaron Gordon got the tip-in. But it was a Nikola Jokic Hail Mary that completely missed. Airballs the hell out of it. Aaron Gordon is just there on the backside, gets the rebound, gets the tip-in, all good, basket counts. But what I want to talk about today is the Rockets versus the Warriors. Because I'll be completely honest, I kind of wrote the Warriors off for a bit, mainly because Jimmy Butler is out. Ladies and gentlemen, Stephen Curry showed up today. 36 points, 7 rebounds, 9 assists, 12 of 23 from the field, 5 of 13 from deep. What can you say? They started Jonathan Kuminga in this game. So both Kuminga and AirPods came in to the starting lineup. And early on, Brandon Podemski was doing pretty well. Had 2 quick buckets to really start the game off. He was hot for them coming in, gets 2 quick fouls, and then rests for a bit. And after that, it's just the Stephen Curry show. And my God, is it must-watch TV. He did play 41 minutes because the Stephless minutes are kind of disgusting for this Warriors team. It feels like without Jimmy Butler, you don't have a secondary creator. And whilst Podemski is okay at being a good, he's a good ball handler, and you have guys who can score, you just don't really have someone who keeps a defense really honest. You know, Gary Payton II had a great game today, 16 points, 3 rebounds, really excelled in the short roll. And I think that's one of my favorite things about Gary Payton is how big he can play. And he's like, what, 6'4", 6'5"? He's not that much taller than like Steph. He really takes his role and he's like a very perfect small ball player. And that's great for the Warriors. Draymond Green had a great defensive performance. Like, the box score will never show it. You know, he went 3 of 11 and you thought he was kind of a bum. And that's what I thought when I first saw the box score. I was like, damn, Draymond's had a bit of a stinker. He did not. Defensively, that's why you need Draymond Green in the game. The thing is with this Rockets team is they're so up-tempo and they play such fast basketball. They want to get out and run in transition. That's what a lot of their players are really good at. You know, Amen Thompson, Jalen Green, even like Tari Eason, Jabari Smith Jr. They're young guys who can just run you out of the gym. The thing the Warriors did in this game that was really good was the fact that they slowed the pace of the game down and said, you got to play a half-court set. Like, none of this running in transition. You can't win a game against us by running in transition. We will slow the game down. God, they did it. And for the Rockets, it was, for a bit, I was hoping Fred VanVleet would pick it up again, you know? And for the first couple points, he gets 2 quick, easy threes, and it's looking good. It's fine. You know, you look at Freddie and you're like, okay, I'll take that. Good defensive performances on Steph. Really tries everything he can to stop him. And there are some points where he does. Jalen Green. Oh, man. In all fairness, it wasn't a stinker because he wasn't playing well. It was a stinker because of how Golden State adjusted to it. You saw this guy kill you in game 2. So you know what we're going to do? We're going to lock his ass down in game 3. They put Kuminga. They put Green. They gave him every matchup that he would struggle in and slowed him down so he couldn't really drive into the paint and be as effective as he could be. Sengun had an alright performance. He was kind of keeping them in there. But you saw towards the fourth quarter where the defense really locked in and said, okay, no more transition stuff. We're locking you down in half court. A lot of the Rockets offense turned into Hail Mary shots of like, we got to get this shit up. Sengun, save us. And I feel like that's the problem with this Rockets team is they're a great regular season team. But these are points where you really need that like superstar level player to when the offense is bogged down and you got to play half court. Who can we give the ball to get us rolling a bit? you know? Like, if one guy on our team can get a couple good shots in, everyone's feeling good about themselves. They have to play Dylan Brooks as an offensive threat. And there are points where it works. He got switched on to Steph Curry a lot and hunted that mismatch. But how do I say this without sounding disrespectful? You can't, like, that's not really who Dylan Brooks is. He can give you points. He can score. But, like, you need him to be a bit more of a hard-nosed defender and say, hey, whoever is in front of me, I got to stop him. And sometimes he can do that. I think as a whole, the Rockets did not shoot well this game at all. And that's just Golden State's defense. I feel like I was very surprised how they managed to navigate those Stephless minutes. And whilst they struggled in those Stephless minutes, talking about the Warriors here now, it still didn't put them back that much. They weren't struggling that bad, you know? It was still fine. What else can I say about this game, man? I really thought that they could, like, the Rockets could do something here. Because they're young, explosive, and fast. Let's see what they can do. And it just turned out to be... It's a playoff series. I think, quite frankly, this is evident of the fact that these are young players. And whilst some of them have been to the playoffs before and some have made huge runs, for the most part, a lot of this team is young. This is their first or second playoff appearance, and they're playing against one of the best teams in history, right? This is the Warriors. Let's not mess around here and say that, like, Steph Curry is not one of the greatest of all time. When you face someone of this level who is able to change the game like that, and you don't have anyone that can duel him, it's a bit tough. You're relying on a Jalen Green performance, much like Game 2. But I don't think you're gonna get that every night, because that's just not who Jalen Green is. The Rockets need a superstar. They have the talent around him, and some of the talent is more replaceable than others. But you need, like, a lead star. In all those videos about the Suns, if I was a Rockets fan, I would push everything to try and get Devin Booker. Because Devin Booker is kind of what this team needs. You need a guy who isn't, you know, like, Devin Booker is not the greatest defensive player of all time. He can show effort when needs be. But when you ask him to be an offensive threat, he is the offensive threat. That is the kind of player I think that the Rockets need. Someone who, all right, cool. We're bogged down. I need an isolation play. I need someone to get a bucket right now to bring us back in this game, to stop this run that the Warriors are on. And this game was a game of runs, you know? The Rockets were up 12 going into the second half, or just before the second half started. And then suddenly the Warriors string together a 9-0 run. They cut the lead to 3. It's the fortitude of this Warriors team that makes me think this is going to 7. And when games go to 7, it is just a coin flip, you know? That last game, it is who is performing better on the night, who shows up to game 7. There is no more game planning to be done. We know everything. We know the ins and outs. Let's just fucking go for it. Let's, in the wise words of the English here, let's have it, you know? So yeah, I think that was pretty much all my thoughts about this Warriors game. I think that it was, like, you needed a masterclass performance from Steph. And I know I say that word a lot, but this is a Stephen Curry game. In the last video, I spoke about a Stephen Curry performance. This is what I was talking about. Yeah, he wasn't hyper efficient. He didn't shoot like 60% from the field, but he had 36, 7, and 9 and led this team to a win. What more is there to say? The playoffs are slowly getting more and more entertaining. And I really think the second round is where teams, like, that's where it's going to be like, ooh, cinema. And for that, I'll be, you know, doing another round of predictions in case mine were not true. So far, we're 1 of 1. So we're shooting good from the field. I hope you have a good day. I hope you have a great rest of your weekend. It's Sunday evening here. Hope you have a wonderful Monday. Hope it's not awful. Have a good one. If you like the video, please leave the video a like. If you liked it that teeny tiny bit more, consider a subscription. You know, we're close to 100. That would be nice if you got to, you know, if you're number 100, go ahead, leave the comment in below, and I will I'll give the little heart thing and a thumbs up, and I'll say thanks. What more can you ask of me? But yeah, hope you have a good one. I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye now.